Welcome to the Living Big podcast, where we're all about embracing life to the fullest. Hey, I'm Marley.
And I'm Kylie, and we're thrilled you're here. We explore how to pursue our passions, nurture meaningful connections, and inject some serious fun into our lives.
We're here to show you you're not alone.
And we want to do what we can to ease the stresses of everyday life and help you in your journey of living big. Okay, welcome back to another episode of Living Big. We are so excited to have a beautiful special guest here with us today.
Yay.
Hi! This is Krista. She is amazing. We have been so inspired by her that we were...
You guys, making me blush.
No, truly. We've been so inspired by you. You've been so business savvy, and you have just really given us a lot of empowerment, I feel like, behind women in business. And so we were like, we got to bring Krista on the podcast.
Ditto. By the way.
Chat with her.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
This is so exciting.
Plus, it's perfect because she has a 13-month-old, right? Mm-hmm. Charlotte.
Yep, Charlotte.
And so, for our mommy audience, we have another fellow mom with us.
Yes. What's up, moms?
Women and mom in business.
I almost said cool hot moms because that's my podcast. I was like, what's up, cool hot moms? I'm sure you're cool and hot. Yeah.
These moms are also cool and hot.
Yeah.
And they need to listen to your podcast.
For sure.
Cool hot moms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cross, contaminate, but not contaminate. Different word.
Cross-pollinate?
Pollinate? Yeah.
If you like nostalgia, 2000s, if your vibe is Lizzie McGuire, High School Musical,
Absolutely.
and current pop culture, then Cool Hot Mom is for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, the deep dive on Miley Cyrus in 2008, icon.
Did you
Oh
love
my
it?
gosh, I love that one so much.
Oh, she is an icon.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
But Krista really is a powerhouse entrepreneur. She's got a podcast. You have an agency. And you've done about a million other things.
Right.
You've had multiple businesses, powerhouse entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have ADHD.
That's what it is.
Make it work for you, Krista.
No, literally, that's what I do. I always I've never seen my ADHD as something debilitating.
Yeah.
It's kind of a superpower.
Yeah.
I can turn my brain, I kid you not, you guys, I can turn my brain on before I go to sleep and I say, okay, I want to think about this problem. Sleep, think about it, dream about it, wake up. Oh, this is a great solution. And then I go, I cannot turn my brain off. Wow. It's kind of cool.
That is
It's kind of
so cool.
Yeah. It's I literally think about
sleep
things.
still.
Yeah, especially since, we'll get into this, but since I went on Cetraline, for postpartum depression, I've been able to I haven't been able to do that.
Yeah.
Which is good because I'm getting more restful sleep, which is good, but I'm also dang, that's kind of a superpower that I have.
Why is it taking some of it away?
Yeah. No, the benefits outweigh the
No, but that's amazing
so.
because I'm I have a very active brain, and then I'll think of problems, and then I don't do the sleeping part.
Oh,
So the I figure it out in my dream part, I'm that sounds really epic.
Yeah, I do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say both.
A little bit of both there.
I love it.
I love it. Okay, so we do want to get a little bit of more background into your businesses.
Okay.
So tell us what you're working on right now in a little bit more detail. We kind of already mentioned it. But.
Okay. Yes. So I recently sold my app for parts. It's not as exciting as it sounds. I sold my client list over here and some of my app over I just kind of was done with it.
Yeah.
And the reason, there was lots of reasons that led up to that, but one of the main reasons was during the holidays and during times when you're going to want to spend time with your family, that is the busiest time for a gift company. And it was I don't want to work. I was pregnant working 90-hour weeks and I was dying. I was I'm dying. And then also, how am I going to
Maintain this with a kid.
Yes. And go Christmas tree hunting. I can't. I have to work because I have to get these packages out, And so a lot of things culminated to making my decision to stop Zip Zap, which was my third business. Like they've said, I start a lot of businesses. Yes. Yeah. I love, and I think you're the same, Kylie, and probably you too, is
I'm on that boat too.
Yes, yeah, you see a problem and you just can't let that problem be. You have to fix it. You have to I love being creative through business. Like, business is my art form.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I express myself. And I used to feel so, like, embarrassed. Like, oh, like, Krista's doing another business. Like, she's so... Like, I thought people were thinking that about me. Like, oh,
no,
like,
I've definitely had some of the same feelings. So I get that.
And I'm like... And after having my baby, like, things started not to matter as much. And so I like, took a step back and I was like, who cares?
I'm passionate about it.
Like,
and it brings me joy.
Who cares? Yeah. And so I really don't give a rip about what people say anymore. I am genuinely so happy. I love this business that I started, which is Bang Agency. I blow you up is like the thing. But I am a business strategist / virtual assistant / agent, like manager for influencers.
So cool.
So I help them make money. Basically, I help them like strategize their business because lots of them like, sorry, I'm talking so much.
No,
I'm like building, like some of them like get famous for doing something random.
Yeah.
And then they have this whole business that they're like, I just cook cupcakes, like I don't know how to run a business,
Yeah.
And so I step in and like help them
figure out how to do all
with
that.
all of that.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Okay.
Yes, I'm absolutely loving it. And then a side part that I've found is that like I can teach this to other moms so they can have flexible jobs too.
Yeah.
And so I've been teaching like other moms how to do it, and that has been so fulfilling.
That's
like
so cool.
so fulfilling. Every business, I'm talking so much. Every business that I've started,
That's why we brought you on, Krista.
I know, but I'm like
No.
Sorry.
No, keep
Anyway,
going.
so,
Keep going.
So every business that I've started in the past, like I started a lipstick line, I started a budgeting business, I started Zip Zap, has had an element to help moms have flexible, good paying jobs.
Yeah.
That has been my passion. Like I remember growing up, my mom was always stressed about money.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, like, I just think about like my mom and I just like want to give her that empowerment. Like
And some freedom.
Yes. And some freedom with money. So it's been so awesome. I've loved it.
I gotta know, how did you go from Zip Zap to Bang? Because those are very different.
Yes. Yeah. Honestly, all of my businesses are. Like, it started lipstick line.
Yeah.
Budget binder. I made like budget binders and helped coach budget. Gift app. Influencer agency. So once upon a time, I had a co-founder who had a mental breakdown and couldn't handle it anymore, and she ghosted me.
Okay.
Oh no.
3 weeks after I had my baby.
Oh.
I was in the worst of the worst postpartum.
no.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, before that point, we were thinking about pivoting Zip Zap to a sales tool.
Okay.
Send this gift to your client, like things like that. Anyway, as I like learned more about that, I was like, well, influencers are like salespeople.
Yeah.
Like I think they need help creating a community more. So maybe I can make this tool to help them gather followers' birthdays and like wish them a happy birthday, send prizes out, like be able to like connect with their followers.
Yeah.
And so I was going to turn Zip Zap into that actually. Okay. And so from that, I took like a bunch of steps back. Because as you know, building an app is so hard.
Yeah.
Right. And so
really is.
I kind of made this plan for myself that I'm going to be in the nitty gritty of influencer world. And then when my kids are a little bit older and maybe in school, then I'll build an app to like solve all the problems that I'm finding.
Very cool.
Love that.
That's the story.
Like I'm going to help them with the business side right now, help them with all the things that don't take as much software building.
Yes, exactly.
And then continue to grow that and scale that. That's so
yes,
cool.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited for you. It's amazing to see all that you're doing.
Seriously, so awesome.
And then you also have a podcast on the side that we already mentioned.
She's got 2 podcasts.
Oh.
I help with one, and then I have, and then I
you have your own baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dumb Hot Mom is what it was called at first. And then Susan Peterson was like, no, can you change that? And I was like, yes, ma'am.
When Susan Peterson tells you to do something, you listen.
You listen. Yeah. It's so cool you knew her, by the way.
Oh, she's awesome.
Oh, she's so cool.
I only met her randomly at like a church function kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Where she like came and taught us how to be entrepreneurial women kind of thing. It was amazing. Changed my life.
So cool.
Anywho, and then I saw that you also had like met her and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I had been like
else.
fangirling
Yeah.
her. Like, don't you feel like she's like
Yeah.
in Silicon Slopes, she's like the golden
girl.
child. Yeah.
Yeah.
The golden mama, maybe.
Yeah, golden gal.
Golden gal. There you go.
Paving the way.
Paving the way. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We love it. Okay, but tell us about.
Oh, yes. So,
Cool Hot Mom.
So, Dumb Hot Mom, now Cool Hot Mom, was a postpartum project. I like needed something for myself. I felt in the first few months of postpartum, I felt like I had absolutely failed with Zip Zap because I couldn't run it or build the app by myself.
Yeah.
And my co-founder had just abandoned me, and like I was so depressed, and it was just so bad. Yeah. And I was going to ask you if you feel this. Do you feel like sometimes Silicon Slopes is like, if you're not building an app and you're not $1 million business, you are nothing?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, do you feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I felt so much pressure to like if I'm not making $1 billion, if I'm not a unicorn, just don't even try.
And if everyone doesn't already automatically know who you are, then you're never going to be successful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I was feeling like a lot of pressure from that, and I kind of took a step back and I was like, okay, what do I really want? Because I thought I wanted to build a unicorn, which, like, for those listening, it's $1 billion business. Okay.
Right.
Within 5 years is like unheard of, but that's like
That's a unicorn.
That's what happens here in Silicon Slopes.
yeah. I mean, Divvy, that's one in what, 1 million businesses?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I kind of like took a step back and I was like, what do I want? I want a flexible job that pays me buco bucks.
Yeah.
Like I want to be rich. Like, and I love saying that. And I want like women to like say that more. Susan Peterson, that's something that she says. It's like, women are so afraid to say that they want money. And I just want to like say, I want money. Like I want.
Absolutely.
The cool thing I think about that too is not just I want money, but I will do whatever it takes to get myself there.
Right. Yes.
Like, I'll put in the time. So I'm going to think of some ideas to make that happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Women can do that. Men can do that. Everyone can do
Everyone can do that. Yes.
Everyone can do that.
Yes.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now, where I'm like,
yes,
we're doing that.
Let's channel it. Yes, I love it. Woo, let's get it. Get that bread or whatever the kids are saying these days.
I don't know what they're saying.
Something about
we're too
like
millennial for that.
Like
dough, I think
Riz
dough's
or
too
something.
old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I took a step back. It's like I want a flexible job. I want to make lots of money. Do I care? I thought that I wanted to be like the big tech CEO and have everybody like adore me. And I was like, do I want to be like famous in business, or do I just like, do I want the money?
Yeah.
You know, like so much of my experience in building a tech business, like a tech company, was a facade.
Like flashy.
Literally, I did $20,000 in 1 month. I thought I was the best thing ever, and influencers in my head, investors were like, "Oh yeah, that's not enough," and people were telling me to lie so I could get investment. And like, you have to manipulate your numbers this way so that you can get their attention. You have to do this, and I was just like, I don't want to lie.
Yeah,
I'm making $0 in my business. Like, I want to make money. So anyway, so that's kind of what like drove me there, and I love it. Like I really, really love it. I think my husband and I, we want to kind of switch, and he'll be like the primary caregiver and I'll be like the primary income bringer. So that would be our next goal. But for now, I'm like super happy with like how things are going. So.
yeah, that's so cool.
I love hearing that so much. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I love that. Also, I forgot we didn't like talk about how we know each other at all.
Oh yes.
So,
I'm a big fan of the Living Big podcast, so I reached out. I was like, please.
Oh my gosh.
no, so we've known each other for a while. All three of us, like,
You guys knew each other before I did, though.
Yeah.
really?
Because Eager started before.
Oh, that's right. I guess Hiram was like a year after or something like that. Anywho, maybe even longer after. I don't know. Anywho, in 2020, my husband got an internship at a company, at a like tech company kind of thing. And Krista was working there. And so my husband worked with Krista first.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how we got like to be friends.
Just like a,
really.
I think like a
That company had a
retreat.
ton of like events and stuff.
Yeah, they
that
just
would
had
do.
events and stuff. We saw each other and whatnot.
And you did my makeup.
I was doing like hair and makeup and stuff for weddings at the time, and you had me do your
So
hair.
good at it.
You had me do your makeup for like family photos or something
Yeah.
like that. That was so
cute.
fun.
That's awesome.
Anywho, we just kind of like kept in touch, and then you launched Dumb Hot Mom / Cool Hot Mom, and
You are so supportive. Like I feel like when I think of like women supporting women, I'm like Marley and Kylie, like so supportive, and like just like everything that I'm like, I'm doing this now. Like Marley's just like, yeah, I support you.
I did write a thing for Zip Zap Gifts one time. I wrote like a little blog post for it because you're like,
Oh yes, you did.
You gave me graphics and you gave me kind of a topic.
I paid
and then
you for that, right?
You did, yeah.
Oh good. Woo.
You did.
Oh good.
No, we aspire to be professional hype women.
Absolutely.
We're like,
Same.
we want to hype
Yeah.
the people that we care about and
Yeah.
the projects that they're passionate about. Why not
And
support
there's
your
room
friends?
for everyone.
Yeah.
Like even if someone's doing the exact same thing as you,
Yeah.
they're not you.
Yeah.
Like you have your special flair that you're gonna bring to it, and you're like, it's gonna be great.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I love that. Anywho,
Yeah, we super believe in supporting friends and women, especially. And like,
absolutely.
it's so important. Supporting local, all
Yeah.
those things.
Oh
I
yeah.
love it.
Okay, so we've answered some of these questions already. I'm so
I know.
proud of
I'm
us.
so
We're doing-
sorry.
No, we're
I'm
doing
so
so
all
good.
over the place.
Perfect. But I think we're just going to tell you a little bit about specifically this topic. Hopefully you've already gotten an idea of what we want to talk to Krista
Right.
about. Entrepreneurship,
Motherhood.
community, motherhood,
Hype girls.
networking, just empowering women
Yeah.
in a more professional sphere, as well as being moms.
Yes.
Because you can be both.
You can.
If you want
Yeah.
to. And if you don't,
If you don't,
No one
yeah,
have to.
Who cares? Yeah.
You really don't have to, but if you
but if you
want
do,
to,
this episode is for you.
yeah.
Yes.
If you don't, then maybe this isn't for you. But that's okay. Like, this is
Well,
great.
there's still some fun stories.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So you had Zip Zap Gifts. You were pregnant throughout that time. Do you mind if I ask, like, what that was like to be pregnant as you were trying to build this business and then,
Yes.
you know, trying to balance the two?
Yeah. So I started Zip Zap during COVID. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. So like almost 4 years of that. And so I was pregnant for, 9 months of that and trying to get pregnant before that. And so it was so much of like doctor's appointments and we were talking beforehand, but like we both had kind of awful experiences with doctors. Mine before pregnancy, trying to get pregnant. My husband and I went to I think we counted like 5 or 6 doctors that were just like numbskulls. Like they just like would not like listen or like
Wouldn't give you the help you needed.
yes, or like we'd show up for an appointment and they'd be like, "Oh, we don't have you in the books," and we'd be like, "We have a confirmation for this time." And they're like, "Oh, let me find. Okay, we can squeeze you in." And it's
Squeeze
just like,
me.
and yes, and then I
scheduled it.
Terrible.
ugh, doctors, man.
Ugh.
I have a great one now. Shout out. Oh my gosh, it was said Sister B check, Dr. B check. My bad. But anyway, so it was so like I think that there's something that anyone going through a challenge has, but especially like women where we're like we have to dig deep. And not only do we have to dig deep once a month when we're on our period, but like we have to dig deep during like pregnancy and during these like challenges and like stuff like that. And the thing that I just like wanted to share most is that you are not alone when you're going through that. Like when you're going through infertility or having a hard time with pregnancy or having a hard time after pregnancy, like,
Yes,
like things like that. Like
absolutely.
you are not alone. And there is no issue with getting help. Like get help however you can. And something that I think we wanted to talk about today is like the importance of building a community.
Yeah.
Like you guys talked about that in your last podcast and I loved it. And I loved it. Like, you guys mentioned be brave. Like, be brave for 3 seconds. And I, like, loved that because nobody, like, is, like, excited to, like, go jump on someone at the park and be like, be my friend, you know? Like it's
intimidating.
It's intimidating. Yes, it's intimidating. But that is, we need each other, as you guys said. And I think, like, your advice from last episode is perfect. Like, be brave for 3 seconds. One of my closest, like, friends group that I love started because my friend Hannah, not Hannah Olsen, I have lots of friends named a different Hannah, she just, like, started adding people to a group, people she'd meet at the park, and we're called the green space groupies. Shout out green space groupies. But anyway, we have, like, parties, and we text all the time, and, like, there's, like, 18 of us in that, and it's so fun, and it's like, and it's like she was brave, like, she was brave, and like,
kept passing that on.
Exactly. Because then when I was in, I added a couple people, and she added a couple people, and, like, it's just, so like, cool. So fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we all go to the park and let our hooligan kids run wild. But it's so important, though. Like, if you're scared of, or you don't want to make friends, or if you're like, oh, I don't do groups or whatever, just, like, start small. Just, like, talk to one person.
I love that.
Yeah, I think that's amazing advice.
Be brave and talk to one person.
Yes.
Oh, so doable for sure. I love that.
I always think of, like, what's the worst that can happen? You're not going to die.
You're not going to
talk
explode.
to someone. Yeah, like,
and spontaneous combustion is not a thing.
The world's not going to suddenly start on fire or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, the worst that could happen if you don't is you just have one less friend.
You miss out on
a good friendship. And, like, the worst that could happen is you don't mesh.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. No harm, no foul.
Exactly.
It's okay. Yeah. But the best thing that could happen, you could find a new bestie.
Yes.
Find a new bestie. Genuinely add another supportive person to your circle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. I like to think about, there's this painting of this woman, and she's, like, kind of falling backwards, but there's, like, people behind her, like, holding her up. And I like to think about that, like, in our daily lives. Like, we have, obviously, if you're married, your spouse is that biggest support, right? But, like, you need other people to help hold you up and help, like, comfort you, and, like, you can be that for other people, which in turn, I think you talked about this in the podcast too, is, like, helping other people, like, helps you.
Yeah.
And so you just have, like, this circle of, like, I'm helping them, they're helping me, and it's just, like, community. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I love that. So that's definitely what we're going for. I mean, not only for, like, entrepreneurs, but also, like, just moms and women in general. That's our ultimate goal, is to just support women, you know, moms going through it.
But I am curious, what advice would you give, like, professionally? Because that is a little bit, I mean, yes, there are relationships and it's friendships as well. But what professional advice would you give for building a network on that side of things? Like, less just friends and more business related.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. So, you know the saying, like, your network is your net worth, right? And I, like, am a huge proponent of networking, especially when you're building a business. So, building business, or, like, trying to, like, expand your career or find another job, or, like, something like that. So this is what I have. This is the advice that I would say. So on LinkedIn, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, make one. This is where you're going to be finding tons of LinkedIn events, like, things like that. And if you're local to Utah, they have events. We have events all the time.
Every day.
All the time. Shout out Event Penguin.
This episode is proudly sponsored by Event Penguin, your go-to solution for creating unforgettable events. Say goodbye to clunky and hard-to-use event sites and create your next event in minutes today.
Whether it's a party, conference, or a networking event, Event Penguin has everything you need to bring your vision to life. Visit eventpenguin.com today and discover beautiful, customizable event pages that make planning a breeze. With a seamless guest experience, Event Penguin lets you focus on what truly matters, making your event a smashing success. Start building your community through events effortlessly. Jump in!
So I would make, if you can allow it, go to at least one, let's say one a quarter for if you're trying to build your career, and let's say one a month if you are building a business. Okay. So I would go, and if you hate networking, if you, like, want to jump out of your skin, when
it makes a lot of people want to throw up.
Exactly.
Or die. And they're like,
I can't. Yes. Make it a game. Tell yourself, I have to talk to 5 people and say, hi, I'm Kylie, I'm building Event Penguin. I have to say that phrase 5 times and then I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know, like make it a game so that you can
Gamify
like
it. I love that.
exactly
I
like
love that.
check it off, like mark it on your hand or whatever so that you can get in with a mission and then get out. I love networking. I know that like is weird to some people.
No, I think that's one of your skills, and that's why I was like, we got to pick your brain because
She's the expert, obviously.
Love it. Yes,
because I can tell that it's not a facade. It's not like I have to do this nasty thing.
I love it because I love people. Oh, sorry. Go
Well, I
ahead.
was just gonna say you met Susan Peterson. You've met her a few times.
Yeah.
And
I do a podcast with her now.
You've gotten onto her team.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming
It's
probably
so
through
cool.
these networking skills. You've shown up to these events.
Yes.
How
Show
did
up to that.
happen?
Oh my gosh. You gotta be bold as hell. Like just like soup. Sorry, I swore. But you gotta be. I think like shooting your shot. So the bare minimum is get your 5 and get out. Okay, that's the bare minimum. The next step I'd say is actually figuring out what you'd like to accomplish at this thing. Like, I want to meet someone
Like
for
going in with a specific goal in mind.
exactly for XYZ, non-specific and specific. So I love manifesting, and I love like I'm a non-specific manifester, and so sometimes my specific goal is I want to feel like this after I leave. Like I want to I know, or I feel like something's like bubbling under me. Like I'm like, okay, something is gonna happen, you know? and then I go and like the event that I went to in November, like literally started Bang Agency, and I'm like so grateful for it. I met 2 clients, like it was awesome.
That's so cool.
Met Susan Peterson, like it's amazing. Anyway, so is going in and just like being genuinely curious about other people and wanting to learn from them. I feel like that is like a huge thing because like, yes, you have so much to offer. And I do think that is something that...
But you can't just go in to sell yourself. You need to be going in for like their expertise.
How can I help you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is also because like, I don't know if this is like per se why I've had success with networking, but it's like every person I meet, I'm like, I can connect you with this person. I know this person. Like I always like try to help them first, and then I can ask them or
for
like
help in return.
Yeah, or help in return. And just like everybody's story is so cool. Like why would you not want to like listen? Like and just learn from people.
I think that's amazing because you're actually going in invested in the person.
Yeah.
And again, it's not just like, ooh, what can I get out of this?
Yeah.
Like you do have goals obviously for you and your business, but genuinely you're trying to create these relationships that go beyond just that sales moment too, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
Something that we learned this past weekend, Kylie and I, because we went to an event.
Yeah.
And there were some big people, and we were like, we got to talk to these people, right? It's easier if you have a friend with you.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And you can hype each other up kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I've never had that. I've always done all my businesses by myself and I've gone to events by myself. So I literally was like, this is beautiful.
That's such good advice. Go with a friend.
Go with a friend. I mean, whether or not they're starting something or whatever, like it's still so good to just like have a hype person.
Yeah.
I mean, it was easy for us because we had like shirts on that have Living Big Podcast on the back kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people were
Those
like,
are so cute.
what's going on with these? You know? So that was kind
It
of
was a great conversation starter.
It
That's
really
awesome.
was. But like we also, because we were like, okay, we had like a plan, not before we went in, but we saw that there was like people that we needed to talk to.
Yes.
We were like, okay, we need to go talk to them. So we kind of like game planned what we were going to do and then freaking did it.
Yeah. Freaking did it.
We kind of also role play with each other. So even if you don't have a friend going with you, role playing it with your husband or something before, which I've done a million times. I'm like, okay, how does this sound? Does this sound incredibly awkward?
Right.
Like, how
Do
can
I
I
sound
refine
stupid?
this? Help me with my pitch. Like,
Yeah.
finding a friend to help you with that.
Right.
So good.
Oh, refining the pitch with the husband. I've done that many times.
Well, so what we did, kind of like what you were talking about, what we did is we went up to these people. What's one piece of advice you would give to newbie people who are trying to do what you were doing? Like
love
you're
that.
already further along in the journey. Like we're just now starting this. What kind of advice do you have?
And-
like, I think it's a big ask, but
But it's
people are
also less
willing.
of like, hi, can you make me famous? Or like, hi, can you bring me onto your thing? Or
Right.
hi, what can you do
Yeah.
for me? It's like admiring them for their work and saying, how do I get the same results?
Right.
Like, and every single time they were like, oh,
kind.
Can we take a picture with you and I'll post it for you guys? Do you want to come on my podcast?
repost? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you want to come on my podcast? Email me and I'll get you on, and that will help you build.
Let's connect.
friends.
Let me connect you with
Yes.
other people.
And isn't the
follow
energy like
you.
so great in networking? Like
So great.
I like every time I leave a networking, I'm exhausted because I'm.
Oh, you have to give 110%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exhausted, but it's just like there's such good energy. It's just like wow, like I really connected with people who are out there hitting the grindstone too, which I love. Like
Yeah.
I don't care if you're working hard on a dog poop scoop business. Like if you are like
Passionate
and hustling, like I freaking love you. And I love you if you're not hustling because like pick up the poop, but you know. But no, I just love it. It's so great.
I think that's so beautiful.
What
I love
advice would you girls give to a shy person who is going networking?
Okay, so this is what I think of. Is I kind of take a page out of Beyonce's book.
Okay. Tell me more.
Okay, so Beyonce is actually an introvert. She's very artistic, very introverted kind of a thing, but she's Beyonce, and like the entire world knows her, right? She has an alternate personality kind of ego that she calls Sasha Fierce. Okay? And so that's who you see perform. That's who you see on stage, right? And walking the red carpet and dancing. That's Sasha Fierce. That's not Beyonce. We know her as Beyonce, but she has kind of this like alter ego, right? Where she can say, I am going to go and be this person just for this little bit of time.
I love that.
And then I go home and I'm just going to decompress and be myself again, you know? So like being able to kind of maybe like differentiate and separate, okay, this
and
is
not
a time.
being fake, but being like,
Yeah.
this is me as this
Right.
energy or
Right.
whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I see it all the time with like teachers. Teachers have to be
Yeah.
like on and performing for their students all the time, you know? And so I think it's kind of the same way where it's like when you're kind of performing, then you can kind of pour more energy and ideas into that kind of version of yourself. I think it's still you. It's just this is my performance version of me while I'm networking.
Nice.
I love that because I am kind of actually, it's interesting. I'm very extroverted, especially in small groups. But when it comes to public settings, I just want to die. I'm like, oh, there's too many people here.
Yeah.
I don't want to do public speaking. I don't want to,
I would classify myself as an extroverted introvert because when I get home, I'm like exhausted.
Yeah.
Like I need alone time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's I love people, but I'm like, the more you get and the more I have to put me on the line, have to
Right.
sell myself, the more I'm like, let's just go straight back in that shell. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be a turtle right now.
Which is great.
Let's
because
disappear.
You have done public events, like large
Oh
events.
yeah. I do them all the time. I make myself, but I think that advice right there is like so key. I remember I did Distinguished Young Women in high school, which used to be called Junior Miss.
Oh.
And it's like kind of like a pageant, but we call it a scholarship program
Nice.
because they don't do like the swimsuits and
Right.
those kinds
Yeah,
of things because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
for juniors in high school. Anyway, and we were trying to get scholarships, but that was my absolute worst fear in the entire world. And we had to get up on stage and answer questions. We had to dance. I do not dance. I can barely do a TikTok dance if we are being real right now, you know? So I'm like, we had to do all these things. And I found out 2 weeks before that I wasn't just going to be one of the girls in the back of all these things. The girl, but right ahead of me. So we all had contestant numbers. I was number 2. So I was always one behind someone. So I could follow them and everything. And then 2 weeks before that girl dropped out and I found out that I was now number 1 and I had to lead everyone in it. And all of them.
That's
The fitness
amazing.
section, the
What a
dancing,
good, what a good
the-
opportunity.
the speaking, all of it. And I was terrified out of my mind because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to put myself front stage, front and center. Anyway, long story short, what it taught me is I had to embrace this, like, it is still me. It was still a version of me, but I had to just like, okay, for this night, I am going to put Shy Kai away.
Shy guy.
I'm going to put Scared Kai away. I am just going to go have a blast. I'm going to just have fun, give it my absolute 110%. Whatever happens, happens, and then it's over. And again, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly.
I'm not going out there naked. I'm not going to burst into flames. Like, it's okay. And then I won. It was awesome.
Wow,
it was
that's
amazing.
awesome.
See,
oh my gosh.
Here's what I think is like once you start talking to yourself like that, once you start thinking those things about yourself, you start believing them.
Yes.
That's what I went through recently with work stuff is I was being very kind of self-conscious, didn't quite believe
She
in
just got a
myself.
promotion.
And then I went into this really big interview and I was like, you know what? I am completely qualified for this. I'm the best candidate for this job. I am extremely confident that I will get this job. And I had that going into it and I was like, great. And then I had an amazing interview. I felt so calm. It was weird. I never feel like that. Normally I'm like, sweating up a storm. I still was sweating a little bit, but I wasn't like, oh, like, I'm sorry. You know, none of that. I was like, I am confident. Because I kept telling myself that beforehand. And I was like, I'm going to start believing that. And now I do. It's like, it's definitely a struggle, but like, once you start like believing it, then it happens.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Atomic Habits. One of the best books out there. It says like, start talking to yourself as if you already are that person. So if you like.
Let it become part of your identity.
Yes. There you go. If you want to be a runner, I'm a runner. Yeah. Go for a run.
I'm a reader.
Yes. You're a reader. Love it.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, that's such good advice, ladies. Thank you for sharing that.
I feel good about that.
Okay. Well, we're going to kind of close up. I so appreciate all of the feedback you've given us, all of the amazing, amazing tips on how to build both a community as friendships and then also networking. And I hope that this will help all of you listening. Take some of these tools. And again, it goes back to that, just like embrace 3 seconds of bravery, right? Or a portion of time. Just say, I can do this. I can do this.
Alarm
I'm doing this.
Literally, yeah.
Sometimes that really helps
Or
me.
hold your breath.
Yes.
Like, hey, my name's Krista. What's your name? Like, breathe.
Yes. Whatever you need to do. You can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. And go follow Krista. We're going to link all her socials on the show notes.
Yep.
But you can follow her podcast at Cool Hot Mom.
Cool Hot Mom.
Cool Hot Mom on Instagram.
Yep.
Bang, also on Instagram.
If you want, I literally am not like advertising it because I just want to keep it for my clients. So follow me at that Krista girl instead.
That Krista girl. There we go. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But please reach out to her if you have any other questions about this. You'll probably see her at some events here in the Silken Slopes area if you're from Utah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
And we want to see you there too.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Living Big podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review.
Join us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all the things from relatable mom memes to fun girls' night ideas with your besties. See you next week.